Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Knitting Posse. I'm Kim.
I'm Kate.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Lorian.
And today we are filming podcast number 27. I hope you enjoyed the sock podcast. I was sorry to miss you that day, but it was fun to watch you guys without me. I was like, something's missing. Anyway, today's February 3rd. Probably won't come out for a few days, and we have been shoveling a lot in our part of Connecticut. Monday night we got probably over 18 inches of snow, and it really, I can't believe it's still flurrying here and there, but it's a winter wonderland outside. Perfect for knitting.
Yeah.
So we're glad you're back with us. We reached 4,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and they're not all relatives. We're shocked and humbled. So we want to do a giveaway. We're going to give away 4 prizes to 4 of our subscribers on YouTube. You can make a comment after this video and just tell us what you're knitting. I love to hear what other people are knitting.
Yeah,
and then we'll do a random draw next time we podcast. We have some really nice gifts. I'll start with one that you've seen before from Tish from You've Got a Bag. That reminds me of Oprah, like, and you get a bag, and you get a bag. That'll be one of the gifts. And Kate, do you want to show another gift we'll be giving?
Another gift will be a skein of Knit Collage with some of the ribbon yarn. I forget what it's actually called, but they have a new hat pattern out. I think it's called like Have a Heart or Make a Heart or something with a heart in it. And this would be enough to make that hat pattern.
That'll be great for Valentine's Day.
Well, they probably won't have it by Valentine's Day.
Okay, next Valentine's.
Year.
They're ready. They're ready. And Lorian, what's the other prize? 2 other prizes.
So we've got 2. I happen to have 2 with me. So we're giving away 2 skeins, Hedgehog fiber sock. The color is called Poison. It's probably blending into me because it's red and black. But so we have 2 skeins of these. These were donated for us to give away by our friend Pat of An Inner Shawl. And then we have a new product, a friend that we met at Rhinebeck 2019 was starting up her business.
Yes.
And is that right? Mystic Makers. This is Becky. And this is a whale bag. Hopefully you can see it's a whale pattern. Inside is another pattern. It's fish. And her tag is here. Mystic Makers. She's from Connecticut.
Thanks, Kate.
That's great. I want to just talk a little bit about this bag because Becky gave us a description. Okay, the knitting bag included is the perfect size for socks or a small cowl or shawl. It's grumpy whale canvas exterior and complementary golden sunshine interior fabric reflect our coastal New England environment. The detachable cork handle, which is really cool, a cool fabric actually, cool material, makes this bag super versatile. I also want to add, I think we'll talk about now, Becky is offering our viewers a discount in her shop, and it's an Etsy shop. So go to Mystic Makers Co. Etsy shop, and the code is KPOSSE20 for 20% off. So it's the letter K, POSSE 20 for 20% off. And it's called Mystic Makers Co. is the Instagram. Oh, the Instagram is Mystic Makers.
We'll put it in the show notes below.
Hmm?
We'll put it in the show notes below.
Absolutely. But go check her out. She uses beautiful fabrics, which we all got to experience because Becky also, are we sharing this now?
Yeah.
So Becky also sent us each her notions pouches, and I want to read about these because they're very different. I'd never seen one. Kate's giving you a view of the inside. So we each have a little insert that comes with some tools. So this is called the Josephine tool pouch. It was inspired by Becky's mom, Josephine, who loved good tools for crafting, cooking, gardening, you name it. I think of her every time I use her sewing machine, fabric shears, butcher block cutting board, or wooden handled long fork. She also loved pretty fabric and convenience, so she would definitely approve of this tool. It is constructed with locally sourced coastal Connecticut designer canvas and quilting cotton. The pouch has a swivel lobster claw clasp, which allows you to easily attach it to your knitting bag.
I feel like Anna
inside the pouch, yep, you'll find a tool pad made with cork and environmentally sustainable fabric. 2 small but mighty rare earth magnets are sewn into the pad and attract 10 bulb-shaped stitch markers.
That's cool.
Yep, and then each pad also has a fix-it tool and yarn needle. So this was something I've never seen before, like this with all of these goodies inside. And I thought her fabrics are really beautiful. I received them, so I got to see all of them firsthand. So thank you, Becky. And to our viewers, please go check out her shop. Enjoy the discount. It's running for 2 weeks. I don't know if we'll put in the notes an end date if we have the end date, because it's 2 weeks, but I think from yesterday. So yeah, check her out. I think she's very thoughtful in her choice of materials and design approach. And I think that that's something people will appreciate. I do.
Yeah. I went on her site last night and I really like her fabric. So I did buy a larger project bag. But I noticed she has face masks on there also that were some cute fabric. So what a nice part of the state to live in Mystic. Must be very pretty there. So thank you for that. And we'll pull those names before our next podcast. So be sure you put a comment below, subscribe. You must be a subscriber. And like I said, tell us what you're knitting. Tell us something exciting about your knitting. Let's start with what we have on. And I'm seeing some pretty things. Kate?
Mine is actually an oldie but a goodie. It's my Ranunculus by Midori Hirose. And I knit this in the Cashmere People Cashgora fingering yarn in the glacial colorway. And I love this. I've been wearing it a lot. It's light, but it's warm and cozy. Like I have a tank top on underneath it and I'm plenty warm, even in my cold house. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing.
That color looks so great on you too.
I love the color. Yeah.
Laura, what are you sporting there? I'm digging that.
I finished my Scofidio by Fiona Alice. It's in Brooklyn Tweed Loft. I think I've said this a couple times, but the original pattern was called for Peary, and it was a 3-color color work project. And I did it in a 2-color dark red and just their natural, I forget what the color is. And I finished it like a week ago, and it took me a while to sew it up. Like it's such a big thing to get your head around sewing it in pieces, but I finally got all those seams done and I love it. And the best thing is my son saw me, and he's obviously seen me knitting in it, and he saw me once and sort of didn't say anything. I was kind of surprised. And then the next time I saw him, he goes, "Oh, wow." He goes, I forgot to say something about your sweater. He goes, "It looks like you've owned it forever." And I was like, wow, that's a great compliment.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That made me happy.
Lorianne, tell us about your beautiful sweater.
I'm wearing the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I knit this very quickly. It was one of my January sweater knits. I knit it in Magpie Swanky Sock in the colorway Hot Blooded, which I bought from the Yarn Birds, and in Big Sky Yarn Co. in their Surrey Silk Cloud in the colorway Cherry Ice. And it was a risk because you don't know if the colors are going to go together when you do that. They were both on sale, and I was doing some impulse shopping online, and this is the color of the Surrey. I don't know if you can see that. And this is the color of the fingering. And I wasn't really sure. I was concerned when I received this how dark it was, and then how bright this was. But they blended so well together. This is all that I have left, honestly. It's not a new pattern, But one of the things for a while, at least, that I was going to do this winter was knit patterns that are kind of tried and true, that are that people are loving. Maybe they're not the newest, the hottest off the presses, which is what I tend to gravitate towards, but just things that are going to come out well without a lot of fiddling or effort. The Surrey, you know, I don't really knit with Mohair, but Surrey is my replacement, and it was just so lovely in the hand. And it's a very fast knit. It's knit on a large needle, and I ended up lengthening the sleeves. I basically knit until the Surrey ran out, and I played with the body length and the sleeve length until then. But I understand now why people love it. I was drawn to knit one inspired by Lisa from Stout Drop and Knit when I saw her wearing hers in one of her holiday episodes.
It's really great. Yeah.
Thank you.
You are ready for Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I have on my rug by Junko Okamoto, wetted the let loopy and blocked it, and I love it. I'm so glad I made it. I mean, it's heavy. Kate, I don't think you could handle this weight, but Laura, you could. I clearly would never not wear anything under this because it's such a woolly wool, but really happy with this. This design was fun to knit, and the sweater is nice and warm. So it's been, I finished it just in time for super cold weather and snow. So happy to have it done. Let's move on to whips.
Whips.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did I throw you for a loop there?
Nope.
No.
I have two.
Okay,
whips.
Kate.
Oh, my bag is hanging on my chair. My first whip you've seen before. It was in timeout, I think, last time, and then I took it out of timeout, and it is now back in timeout, although I'll tell you in a minute. Oops, and there goes my marker. I've separated for the sleeves. This is the old school pattern by Vera Velimaki. And I'm actually knitting it in the Cashmere People Kashgora yarn, but this is the sport weight yarn. And I am probably totally overthinking this pattern, and I'm having a really hard time figuring out how to get the lace to line back up after the sleeve division. But I emailed Vera and she got back to me today, actually. So hopefully that will put me back on the right track, and I will take this out of timeout once I finish my second whip, which is the Autumn League Pullover.
Ooh,
And this,
I like.
This is by Alexandra Tavel, I believe. I think she's 2 of Wands on Instagram. So this is yarn that I bought at the after end of the year sale from Webs. And I think for all the skeins for the entire sweater, I think it was less than $50. So it's very reasonable. And actually the pattern is written in a Lion brand yarn. So I love it so far, and I've tried it on, and the fit is great. It's a split hem at the bottom, so I'm actually 2 rows away from binding off on the back, and then I'll do the front. I'll do my sleeves 2 at a time, and then the neckline. So this is cruising right along, and it was an easy one after the headache of the old school, and so I appreciated that. And those are my
It
two.
looks like it's going to be good. It looks like it's going to be a good sweatshirt type of sweater.
That's exactly what I wanted. Yes. So,
what was the yarn, Kate? What?
I'm sorry. The yarn is.
Because it looks cotton.
Yeah, it does. It looks
So
loose.
it's 50% cotton, 50% wool, and my printer is not working today, so I'm a little discombobulated. But let me see. It is Sublime Isabella yarn from Webs. It was on like the clearance. It looked much darker. It looked like a darker gray in the pictures online. It's actually a very light gray. And I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of white in there. I think
Yep.
twisted in there. So we'll see. It feels nice. I like the feel of it. I think because of the wool, it does have some spring to it. It's not as stiff as cotton, which the original pattern is written in a Lion brand 100% cotton yarn. So
Okay.
It looks like nice yarn.
yeah, yeah.
Laura, what do you have for whips?
All right, I'm on a little bit of a not sure what to knit. So, and this isn't going to show up very well. So it's actually, you can see the mistakes when I hold it up. This is a free pattern from Church Mouse, one of my favorite go-to pattern places. It's called the Honeycomb Mesh Scarf. It comes in, you can do it in 2 widths, and it's knit with Isayer Alpaca Merino 2. This isn't showing up. It's like a dark bluish gray, grayish blue. It's definitely blue. And it's just easy and fun. And I'm enjoying it. But I'm kind of in a not sure where I want to go next kind of mode. So that's just holding me over for now. And it's fun and mindless.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Lorianne, your whips?
Yep. So I have 2 right now. One I'm knitting in La Bien-Aimée Merino DK in the colorway The North. Here we go. I think I put it up here. Maybe you could see better. It's gray and teal and a very dark navy. And this is going to be a hat for my husband. I'm using the Twist and Purl hat by Angie Moore. That's our friend Anya Lulu. She designed a hat, and you'll see one in my FOs. My husband saw that hat and said, I want one.
Mhm.
Of course, that requires for him modifications. I actually went and looked up the hat that I knit for him that's his favorite. And I saw in my notes, picky, picky, picky. So it was a few years ago, but I was looking at what weight yarn did I use, what size needle. He's picky about gauge. It's probably, he's picky about all of it, actually. And so that is, the pattern is, I think, designed with a flat brim, and he wants a rolled brim. So I'm still working on the brim. This took a little backseat. And my other whip is, I feel like this project is taking me forever, partly because I put it away. Like I put it down, I just need a little break from it. And partly, I guess, because it's just a more complicated project. So this is my pink velvet cardigan. So where do I stand? So last night, I'll share with everyone, although you guys know, I got to the point, so the pattern is an Andrea Mowry pattern. It's a pullover. And I knit the pullover, and I thought this would make a really fun cardigan. One of the modifications to the pullover that I did is I added the color work to the sleeve. And so I've done that here. I've lengthened the sleeve, done that here too. And I added a steek. So this is my steek panel right in here. And I got to the point where I had finished the body and the sleeves, and I wasn't sure. I did not knit the neck to start with, because I didn't think that I could knit the neck and then put the steek panel in the middle and then keep going. And I just wasn't sure if I would want to knit the neck or the collar neck or the button bands first. So if you're not sure about telling us what you're knitting, you could leave a comment about that, because I'd really love to know. And I went through some of my old patterns, and sometimes the button bands, and I'm not even putting buttons, but those center bands are knit after the collar, and sometimes the collar's knit after the bands. Mm-hmm. So maybe there are no rules. I'm not sure, but I'd love to understand your thoughts. And I asked our friends here, and I also asked my friend Shannon, who's Whiskey and Wool, because I feel like me, she does a lot of pattern modifications based on her preferences, or knowing her fit preferences or her body type. And so I actually was messaging with her yesterday, and I've done most of what she suggested. She actually suggested I reinforce and cut the steek, and I've decided not to do that. Instead, I then picked up and knit the collar. And maybe these are things not worth agonizing over, and you should just kind of do it. But now I'm just deciding if I'm gonna cut the steek or pick up the bands. I think I'm gonna pick up the bands. I think I want the structure of it being in one piece rather than open and kind of flopping all over while I do that. I'm kind of ready to be done and block it and hopefully just wear it. I think one of the comments that we also got on the sock sesh video, I know people have been asking for a steek special, but not just that. Someone commented that they wanted me to talk a bit about how do you know where to place your panel when you have a patterned a patterned yoke. And I can do that in another video because I know we have a lot to share. So I will be doing that separately. With this sweater, I was a lot more thoughtful about that because sometimes you can place it in a way that your pattern is not exactly the same up to your button bands. It's like a stitch or two off, but I thought that was a good question rather than just cutting. I've done a video of me just taking out the scissors and cutting. You can find those easily. So the yarn is Barocco Fine Wool. That's this light pink. It's okay. It's kind of a workhorse yarn. It's a little splitty. It's a thin fingering. I'm not sure if it's going to wear. I have a feeling it's going to pill like crazy. And the Surrey is Yarn Habits. I've talked about and showed those before.
It's beautiful.
Those are the two whips.
You're so good at making modifications.
Yeah.
Sound easy.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I have two whips as well. One is the Parker, my long cardigan. It's done. No. All right, maybe not. It's by Julie Hoover. And honestly, all I've done is like the back panel.
That's okay.
It's a lot. That's a lot. That's like a blanket, a baby blanket.
Yeah.
So this is TV talking with people. I'm glad to have a project like this because it's like you are, Laura, kind of stuck in between projects. It just keeps me happy for now, you know? So, and like I've said, I have I don't need to get that done tomorrow. It'll get done when it gets done. And I don't stress over things like that. So that's Julie Hoover I use the Purl Soho Good Wool, and that's an Aran weight wool in the color Hickory Nut. So it's a nice wool. It's just, honestly, I think any type of wool would be fine for that type of sweater. The other one that I'm having fun knitting is Hanging Leaves by Beth MacDonald Stone. Can you see that in there? She designed this pattern. I think she said it was one of her first patterns, and it comes with 3 different styles. You could do a cardigan, pullover, a really big loose one. I saw one. I think her name is Marilisa on Girl Meets Yarn.
Yeah.
She's so funny. I wish she lived closer. I think we'd be friends. And she did hers she did a pullover and she did it in Kelborn Woolen Scout, the colorway Sunflower Heather, and so mine. So I really like knitting lace. By the way, this is inside out right now because it's actually, I'll turn it right side in. It's going to be a
Reverse stockinette.
Correct. Thank you, Kate.
Laura.
Oh, Laura. So now you can see that pattern a lot more.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was really fun to knit. I think it just keeps me, I don't know, I kind of want to see where it goes. And I'm always impressed that someone has the vision of, or they know how to make that pattern. You know, it's like, oh, yarn over there will create this look. So sorry about that. I'm always impressed that other people can do that. I'm more of a pattern follower and leave that work for other people to do. But I'm just finishing up the hem, and then we'll do my tats 2 at a time sleeves, and a really quick project. I mean, this has taken no time at all. And I really like the wool. I think it's a nice, it feels good on my hands. It knits up well, and I think it will wash well. So
I think she's becoming quite the designer.
Who, Beth? Yeah.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah, me too. She cranks them out too.
Yep, and really a lot of different kind of cool things. I really like her stuff.
She was so sweet. I met her at
Vogue.
Vogue.
Knitting Vogue. Was that 2 years ago? And she had on a sweater, and I went right up to her. I'm like, I love your sweater. And she's like, oh, I knit that. And so we got to be test knitters for that. But I once in a conversation we had with each other, I mentioned that I liked this sweater, and she sent me the pattern. She was like, oh, so I've had it for a while, and I've had the yarn for a while. And I'm like, you know what? It's time.
I forgot you had that. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. A little surprise.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
It's a
you.
nice combination, that yarn with that pattern.
I agree. So thanks. How about some finished objects?
I have a couple of finished objects. I have, first of all, my sunset slouch beanie. I was working on it the last time we podcast, and I love it. It's
Oh,
really
cute.
So Dinah from the Knitting Place did a Zoom Q&A with Sloan and Megan, who are the owners of Hudson and West, Hudson and West, who make the kits and the yarn for this. So this was a kit, and it comes with the little balls of color that you need, and it was a really fun knit. So anyway, during the course of this Zoom, they had a tip. I don't usually block my hats. And as we said, this yarn isn't like the softest yarn. It's not scratchy, but it's not really soft. So they said to block it. And they said the yarn blooms really nicely. And they said, block it in Dawn dishwashing soap. Who knew? So after the Zoom, I went and got my Dawn dishwashing soap and I blocked it. And the yarn, it is softer, and it did bloom a little bit. So it kind of filled in a little, and it didn't grow at all. I blocked it. I pressed it between the towels, and then I just let it dry flat. I didn't put it on a balloon or anything like that. I just kind of left it as it was. And I love it. I've been wearing it a lot in the snow, shoveling.
I'm gonna come over and borrow a squirt
of Dawn. Okay.
Yeah, I soaked mine and blocked mine, and it definitely got a little bit, but maybe Dawn helps it even more.
So they said what happens is it takes the spinning
grease. It cuts the grease.
It cuts the grease. It's so funny because they can stick baby ducks in Dawn. Like that's what I always think of. So why not my hat? Like the spinning oil, whatever spinning oils are left, they think it takes that out. So they said you do have to rinse it after you soak it in the Dawn. And I guess I rinsed it enough because I wore it yesterday shoveling the snow again, and I didn't foam at the heads.
Bubbles weren't flying around.
Yeah. And then I have another hat, actually two. This is the Standing Waves beanie. I did one for Rich and one for me. This was a test knit that we did for Dinah at the Knitting Place. And it was a quick knit. The cables are really fun. And I added a pom-pom to mine.
It looks great with the pom-pom.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm keeping our heads really warm here. And then I just have to stand up 1 minute to get my third FO. And I made another pair of the Orom slippers. It's OROM. Actually, I don't remember who they're by right now, but again, my printer wasn't working, so I don't have my notes in front of me. But these are, I made these for a gift for a friend, and
I can't wait to get them. No.
I almost just said Kim, because we usually go up to their house in Vermont, and
Darn it.
we haven't been traveling. So anyway, when we get to start to travel again, these are for my friend. So those are my 3 FOs.
You've been busy.
I have been busy. It's a lot of little things. I was kind of hoping to get more progress on that old school sweater. And then when that derailed, I was like, forget it. I'm going to move on to small things and my easy autumn league pullover. So
nice.
for me.
Laura?
All right, so on the hat theme, I don't know if anyone saw it on Instagram, but I had showed my city lights. I have a white one and I put a pale pink pom-pom on it, and it just, I wore it a couple times. I tried wearing it playing paddle, and it was falling off, and I was just like, oh, I have to reknit this, and I did. And then I loved it so much that I remembered that I had a kit. Kate, I got this with you when we went to go visit the knitting place.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
pom-pom's a little weird. It's been sitting in my basket for is that 2 years ago? Pretty close.
Yeah.
And what I love about this, it's charcoal gray, and the sequins, they're on a dark thread, but they're like rainbow
It's
color,
so
like
pretty.
red. I absolutely love it. The pom-pom needs a little love.
Let's hair dry. Put your hair dryer on it.
Steam it and then blow dry it.
Yeah, as it needs a little love. Like I said, Dina makes these kits. I don't know if she's still doing it, but they were in these long cellophane things because there's 4 skeins of yarn, and then on the outside she ties the pom-pom, and so this has been crushed a little bit. But I was so tempted to get. She had so many beautiful colors.
So I just went on last night to look because I want to
Yeah.
make another white one, and she's got most of the colors are sold out right now,
Oh,
but
wow,
there
okay.
are a few brown colors and pinks. So, but the white I believe was sold. That's what. Yeah, they're sold
Yeah.
out. So I'm sure she'll be ordering more.
Well, she
Yeah.
said if there's a special color that you want in any of those kind of kits that she puts together, just call her and she can order it. And I actually almost forgot. Surprise, she's going to be getting some of the Sunset Slouch kits.
Oh, nice.
I think
Nice.
she said this week. So call Dina at the knitting place.
Yeah,
Cool.
she's awesome. She really is. So that's my only other FO besides what I'm
Well,
Did you make a smaller size, Laura?
I bumped down needle size
Okay.
for the ribbing and yeah,
And the
I
body.
just like that because it's one size for ribbing and then one size bigger. I just went down on both, but I love it, and I just need to give the pom-pom a little love, and I will be wearing that playing paddle.
right.
And lots of other things too.
That's a great hat. That's a great
I
hat.
love them. I don't know why. I just love these hats. They're just so fun.
Lorianne, what are your FOs?
I finished a few things that had been longer term works in progress. So, and one of them, I don't even think it was so old. I don't think I showed it on our last podcast. I think I did it, but I didn't bring it with me to my screen today, which was my Lunet Shawl. So I knit that last summer. It's by Moonstruck Knits, Natasha Hornby, and I needed to do 41 tassels, small tassels, and attach them. And it looks so much better with the tassels. I can pull up a quick picture, which may be the way to go. And here we go. I documented it pretty well on my Instagram account there. So I just think the tassels really made it perfect. I learned a new skill. I learned to duplicate stitch for my Advent socks, my Advent 2020 socks. This is a pattern by Natalie Sheldon, and I had knit the socks. I just didn't do these little like embellishments of these dots here, or this little house, or the lights in these houses have yellow lights in them. More embellishments on these trees. And so, there were maybe a few I decided not to do, but I'm really glad I learned how to do that because there are patterns like the rug that Kim is wearing, where I would now understand. If you look at Kim even right now on her screen, that top section, those floats are really long. And you can see, for example, in that pattern where people might have said, I didn't like catching those floats, or they showed through the back. And I have knit that pattern, and I know firsthand. And I would now have no fear whatsoever of doing duplicate stitch in those places. And I actually learned it for a different.
How would you if you did those little X's? Because I love that, and I keep thinking I'm going to knit it.
Laura.
Yeah. All right. Too long a discussion.
I'll flash
There
you.
we go. Here's my ends woven in. Okay, this is a
No,
pair of
that's not
socks.
you,
but,
Kim.
like, I don't.
You did
yeah.
duplicate stitch, like
Yeah, you weave it into itself. I mean, it doesn't have a long. You don't
Yeah,
weave a
just
long.
a
You
little-
make it. You make a knot right in the backside, right, as
Yeah.
you would if you were like sewing in a button or
but
sewing
like when you
something.
have a dark color on that light base, it would be harder to.
Well, you just have to do it on those stitches then,
Yeah.
right? You'll just weave your end right
good
into
idea.
4 or what are they? 3, 5
Yes,
stitches
this
that those
was-
little
yeah.
plus signs are.
Mhm.
So I thought, I mean, I'm not saying you did your rug wrong. I did it
No,
exactly as you did, Kim. But I'm now a little more confident. I learned to duplicate
I'm a
stitch.
pattern follower.
Yes, I know. I am not. I'm a rule breaker. I learned it with a different project, but I finally applied it to these because they had a lot of spaces for that. And we talk about these on Sock Sesh if you want to hear more about them. So this summer, I knit for a baby shower, and then my cousin's baby shower, and then my daughter and I went, and my cousin's daughters are knitting. And so I talked about them, and I said to myself over the summer, I need to knit them something. So Lena is getting this.
Oh,
It's called Elephant Park.
so cute.
This is a pom-pom I had. It's knit in, Elephant Park is by Gabrielle Danskett, and it is knit in Blue Sky Extra. It's a
So
navy and pink. And Lena is 8 or 9. I don't know exactly because she was 8 this summer. So maybe she's 9 now. Elodie is 10. And this is the hat I was going to introduce. So this is the Twist and Purl pattern by Angie Moore, who is our friend Anya Lulu is her handle. And I wanted to also share this time where I got, because I did have to buy some pom-poms. I did not have a pom-pom that went with this. And this one came from I Dream of Yarn shop on Etsy. This is a tie pom-pom, this one. So it had some long, like thin nylon ties. And I know you probably, if you're watching us, you've seen a million people talk about how to attach their pom-poms. But I think it's interesting because each of the ones I'm showing you, the first one I showed you was a snap pom-pom. This one's a tie where you sew a button inside. And I've just tied it in a bow, which is why you see these strings, because I want them to easily be able to take it off if they need to wash the hat. So, well, I have a small head, so I'm gonna roll it a little bit. I don't know how big Elodie's head is. And this is also why I'm showing you them, trying them on. I don't wanna block a gift. I just don't know how it's gonna fit afterwards. And this may fit, I don't know, Elodie's mom. So Elodie is 10 or 11. And then Vivian, the baby, of course, gets another gift. And so I knit her a hat. This is based on the anthology hat pattern by Tin Can Knits. And the yarn is Yarn Habits in Naughty Habits and Surrey Habits held together. I finally found a fabric that I like with these slubby, whatever they're called, bases. So I held 2 strands of the textured base with 1 strand of mohair. Okay, how cute are these? I'm dying. So, because when you're a baby, you can get away with 2 pom-poms. So these are 2-inch pom-poms. The other ones were like 5-inch pom-poms. I found these also on Etsy from Little Mitten Co. They're only on Etsy. I did not find them on Instagram. I Dream of Yarn is on Instagram as well. And these are elastic attachments. So similarly, I've sewed in a button here and the elastic goes around the button. Let me tell you, it's a little tricky when you're not centering your pom-pom in the middle of your hat and you're putting on 2 to figure out where to place it on a hat this size that you just can't try on. So all of the mamas have seen the hats, and hopefully the girls are gonna watch this episode and get a nice surprise in the episode by watching and in the mail. And I have to go to the post office, which is gonna be great. The last thing that I finished, again, it was a finishing couple of weeks, is my Rad Vent Throw by Amba O'Brien. It's a blanket. I think I might be able to show a half at a time. I knit this in Playful Day Yarns, holiday, Christmas Advent. So it's 24 squares. And I knit a square a day. And I was great about keeping up with knitting my squares. And then I put it away, and the 25th skein was a full skein, and that is what I used to join them and knit a border. They're all knit in Playful Day yarns in her, I think they're on her twist sock base. And what can I say about it? I mean, I'm really happy. I'm glad I did it. I'm super glad I finished it. Carolyn is having an update on February 11th at 9 Eastern, a shop update, and 6 Pacific. She's dyeing up like a bunch, so much stuff. I don't even know exactly what she's gonna have, but if you're interested, follow her feed. I think her sale is through her Etsy shop. And I don't know, it brings me, it's just very comforting. Her colors all go together. Sometimes you do these advents and maybe you like these 6 colors and these are okay, but you just don't see them as a cohesive set. I think more and more dyers are doing either fades or gradients or, you know, being thoughtful, but Carolyn's I don't know, she had a color order, so I tried to stay true to her color order and where I placed the squares, but I don't know, they look lovely together and they're beautiful individually as well.
She's got a great eye for color.
Definitely.
That it, Lorianne? That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of blankets done this year.
Yay.
I just have one FO, and I'll go along with the hat parade. And I did Dinah's test knit also, and the standing wave beanie. This pattern, a lot of Dinah's patterns are not on Ravelry. This one is on Ravelry. So you could look it up. It's the standing wave beanie. Again, like Kate said, it was fun to knit. And I did this one in Madeline Tosh. I wanted to try it in a little color because I have like 40 black hats and a lot of solid things. So I bought this in Westport at Westport Yarns. It was Madeline Tosh Twisted Triple Twist, it was called. It was Upper West Side of the city, and the name, I'm like, oh, I miss the city. So that was a fun knit, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put a pom-pom on it or not. I don't think with the color that it needed it as much. Mine's a little pointier. Kate, your head must be.
So this one, actually, I knit the small size, and this one is the adult size. So
Oh, okay. There you go. So I think you could do like a slouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I never block my hats. I hardly wash my hats, for God's sakes. I mean, what am I doing? I'm not, you know, if I play paddle, I wear a different kind of hat because it might be sweatier, but I don't know. I'm afraid they're going to grow. I'm afraid that because I just usually am like the size that I knit. So I did not block this. Did you block yours, Kate? No.
The only one I've ever blocked is this one in Dawn.
Yeah, I didn't even block that one because I didn't want it to grow anymore.
Right.
But like I said, the girl I gave it to has a lot of hair, so she can't even feel it on her head. So that's it for FOs for me. I've been working on the 2 sweaters, which is enough to keep me going for now. Acquisitions. Anything coming up? All right, Kate.
So as part of my goals for 2021, I said that I was thinking about possibly, perhaps making some socks. And I had seen this color, I think the first time on the Grocery Girls. This is Gauge Dye Works. The colorway is called Whiskey in a Teacup. It's a self-striping sock yarn. And I have signed up to make, let me just look it up here. It's called the Knit a Sock in 5 Days Challenge. And why are you laughing, Kim?
I know you can do it. Do it.
It's Yoriko Oki's on Instagram. She's YORIKO.OKI. And there's a link to sign up for this Knit a Sock in 5 Days challenge. And I'm gonna try it. She likes 2 at a time. Magic loop, which I think is what I'm going to like, toe up and I believe it has a cut-in heel. So we'll see.
Good luck.
I don't know if I'm going to use this for my first pair of socks. I have probably some other sock yarn in there that I'll use, but I love the colorway of it. So,
I do too.
and then I also bought, this was a total spur of the minute purchase. I was out on Long Island and I went to the knitting place. I was out there with Rich, and Rich was the one that suggested it. So who am I to say no when my husband asked me if I want to go to a yarn store? So I bought the Sunday by Sans Garn and the Tin Silk Mohair yarn. I think they're just the colors are just numbers, but it's like an olive green. And I am going to be making I believe it's called Circa, C-I-R-C-E.
Circe.
By Natasha Hornsby.
Beautiful.
Dinah knit that one, right?
Dinah test knit it. And so I was going to be good and I wasn't going to buy anything when we went to the store, but she happened to be wearing it that day. And I have not said no to mohair. I like soft mohair though, and this is really soft. And her sweater looked so gorgeous on her. So of course I need another green sweater. So I'm going to be doing that at some point. So those are my acquisitions.
Well done.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Laura?
I don't have anything to show. I'm thinking about doing the Jen Steincast KAL, which the deadline is like April 11th. And I have some Harrisville Shear in my stash for a while. I actually swatched it and I had a skein. It's one of her beautiful, yokes. She does all those beautiful patterns and it calls for spin cycle dyed in the wool. And I actually tried to use that in the swatch, and the Harrisville is a DK and the dyed in the wool is sport, and they really didn't go together. Like the dyed in the wool was very thin and the Harrisville Shear is like plump and luscious and woolly. So I ordered a skein. I don't have it yet. And I can't remember what, I'll show it on the next podcast, of a DK variegated yarn to go with it. I looked through, it's the Aurealis pattern, and a couple people had used this yarn instead. So that's the only thing I have that I'm waiting on, but I've been really, really good. I mean, obviously I bought a skein of yarn, but that was so I could use 5 skeins in my stash. And I'm kind of enjoying this, like really forcing myself to go and knit from my stash. And I've got to get myself off a lot of mailing lists, because that's what distracts you. Like the yarnery, I don't know if you guys follow, I get emails from the yarnery, that and Church Mouse are the two where I see their patterns and I'm like, oh, I want it. And then I have to just calm down and walk away.
Laura, are you going to do the Sock in 5 Days challenge with me?
Yeah, I'll do that with you. That
Okay.
Honestly, Kate, that's not even, you won't be that challenge. And I was going to say, if you want to borrow some needles, because I got a sock needle kit, Chaigu, and it has all the 40-inch sock, so if you want to borrow.
I think
You have the small size?
one 40-inch.
Okay. All right.
So I think I'm good.
Are you using them as toothpicks right now?
Actually, I do use them a lot, because when I need to like pick up stitches, like when I make a mistake, if I need to pull it out and then I thread it back on the skinny needle because it's easier.
Yeah.
So I do use it a lot, actually.
Okay.
Not
Yeah, I'll do it with you. I got to sign up.
Okay. All right.
I'll do it with you for sure, because I have quite a bit of sock yarn, and I knit Colin socks for Christmas, and I have like 1.5 socks, and I need to just finish it, but it's ridiculous. I don't know. I'll get to it.
Lorianne?
So I have a few things to show. I bought some Woolfolk left. This is the whitest color. It's probably more of like a linen white. I am thinking it's going to become a turtle dove kind of along my theme of knitting tried and true. And it would have been the next thing on my needles, but I got distracted. Before I get to that though, oh, the Bernie mittens, the Bernie mittens.
You did not.
I think I'm
Do
over
you know
that.
how many people, I added one of those memes to like my Facebook or something like that, and so many people thought I had knit them. I'm like, it's a meme, that is not me, but they know me, so they know I might have. And a friend did ask if I would knit them. And so we haven't really talked about it some more because I said, well, you know, I have 2 sweaters and 3 hats and all these other things I'm working on, and I'm not dropping them to knit Bernie mittens for you, your husband. But I'll see if I can find the yarn. So I did go to our local Michael's, and I just thought it's worth sharing. I don't like most of the yarn our Michael's has, but I like this Patton's classic wool worsted. I think it's all wool. It's one of the few. There's nothing against acrylic. It's just not my preferred thing to work with. So I was able to get these 3 colors for the mitts. If you're a knitter, you've seen them. If you're on Earth and watching TV in the US and seen it, or maybe worldwide. Actually, I would love to know if that has gone beyond. I know it has because of the knitters have sent it beyond. So I got 3 of those colors, and then I did get one that is all acrylic called Impeccable. Is it Loops and Threads Impeccable. So that's the cream color. Okay. Have you guys seen this? I'm showing it because it's a free pattern. The Harry Styles patchwork jacket. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
No.
My 15-year-old wants this. And
What's
she's
the
like,
Harry
"Make it one."
style? That's good.
Well, first of all, it's a men's. It's only one size. It's written basically. Some designer designed it for him, and then people took off and went with it. It's been out for a year. She wants it in all these crazy garish colors. This is a kid who only has a closet full of gray sweatshirts. Well, I might be making it in this. We will see. Like, I'm tired of squares. I knit a square blanket all last year. I knit a square Advent throw. Like, I need a square sweater on top of it all. So,
Wow.
Yep.
so
That come with batteries?
exactly. That's it. This is so 80s. She put together, my daughter put together a Pinterest board of things she would like me to knit for her. Like, I had plenty of things in my queue to knit for me.
That's
And I
funny.
thought she was like, I had another Jessie May idea for her. And now she's thrown in all these huge, like, chunky, bulky sweaters, but she's gonna wear them for like a season. So Michael's maybe getting a little more yarn purchases if I end up making something for her.
And remember, Lorian, you did say she knows how to knit.
She
Mhm.
does. So I started a pair of socks for her. I did the toes, and she knows what to do. It's not instant enough gratification. So I'm probably will try to knit her another pair of shorties because it's a pretty quick turnaround. She has small feet, and shorties are short.
Yeah.
So I did try that. Instead, she's loving punch needle. Which,
Mhm.
Laura, didn't you buy a kit or something for it?
A book by that woman I follow that woman, Boku.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, her stuff is so beautiful. But I don't know
Yeah.
that I have the patience for it. It's funny, I'd much rather knit than punch needle.
Punch needle, she could do it in a sitting. It moves very quickly. So we tried a few things from Michael's from there. They were not, the kits were kind of, maybe they'd been used before or something and then returned. So we ordered something else from Etsy, and she like tore through it in a day or 2. Like,
Wow.
she needs that. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
So she might be doing punch needle instead. Big tangent there. Okay. Here's the rabbit hole I'm about to go down. It's called the Noctua Day Sweater. Thank you again, Lisa from Stop, Drop, and Knit, who if you're not watching or following, she I don't know, a lot of what she chooses to knit is very interesting. And I guess we have some similar styles or taste because we've knit some similar things. This is designed, it's a paper pattern. It is designed by Catherine Clark who owns Brooklyn General Shop. And she goes by either under Brooklyn General or Love is in the Making is her Instagram. Okay, let me just talk about it briefly. So the yarns are Spin Cycle, which, because of the nature of this pattern I'm using, I probably had other things I might have used, and not only you picked, so I ended up buying a kit. I went through all the research of maybe I should buy something less expensive or swap this yarn out for this. And in the end, this is my birthday present to me. When you bought your kit, you picked the kit based on your size and your yardage requirements, but you also got to pick generally the skein you wanted in the spin cycle because they were so varied. This is called the Noctua Day color. You could pick it if you ordered and made it when the kits were on the site, and they may be now. I kind of was very indecisive, and so I wrote to them after the kits were off and sold out, and even if I just wanted a skein of this, it was sold out. And they wrote back right away. They said, we have more, we're just putting them together. Just work with us through email or call us and we'll figure it out directly. And that worked out much better. And I actually picked the exact skein of yarn, not just the color family within the range that's in Noctua Day. So the yarns in this sweater are new to me. This one is called Skydance Fibers. It is grown on small farms in New York, spun and hand dyed in New York. It is Cormo, maybe Merino, Merino and Romney. It's soft, but it's a little toothy. And then Tuku wool, which is their fingering. And it's two different colors of Tuku wool. This is a charcoal, I don't know if you can see that, and that's a black. And that is to accent the moths. I haven't started this, but I am so blown away by the attention to detail in how it's been designed, because there are some different options, but oftentimes, and I know this because when I've done things like decided to turn a pullover into a cardigan and the placement of the pattern, when you're designing a sweater full of motifs and the sizing requires shaping, it can really mess with how you lay out the motifs. And so I don't know, I'm excited to do it. Some of it is going to be a pay attention, definitely a pay attention part of the project for me. Some of it involves 3-color work. I'm okay with that. It's only generally where the moths are, from what I can tell. And it's going to be an interesting project. I'm trying not to set a deadline, though I really want to have it for my birthday. So
I was going to say, when are you planning on casting this on?
Well, I've caked it up, and I'm really, I know we've talked about doing test knits and things, and Lisa, who inspired me or introduced me to this project, was test knitting it. And I'm really trying not to set deadlines, because for me, it's taking the joy out of the knit. Mm-hmm. If I'm working against a deadline, I don't want to be knitting at 2 or 3 in the morning, because I've said, and yet generally I avoid test knits, but because I make too many modifications, but I just don't want to have that obligation to somebody else and to not enjoy the process as much. Generally, when I knit something, I get to the point where I'm enjoying the process up until a point, and then I just want it done, right? Like you're running a marathon and then you just want to get to the end. And I'm hoping to not do that with this project.
Our birthday is not that far away, Lorian. Just saying.
I have a month.
That's the deadline.
And I don't have many other things going.
All right.
So that's what I'm not going to knit. I don't think I'm going to.
We'll take a side bet, the 3 of us on the side.
You're going to make a side bet?
Betting she's going to finish it.
What'd you say?
I would never bet against Lorianne finishing something.
No, me neither.
I wouldn't either.
We've got to take the other side if we're going to bet.
Why don't you do Laura's birthday, Lorian, and give yourself some wiggle room. And then if you finish it by our birthday,
you have 2 months.
Then you're good.
Yeah, it's
not gonna happen.
Oh, never mind.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that I haven't even cast on yet, and I've had the yarn for a couple of days, several days now, is pretty
shocked.
Right, impressive.
I've had yarn for years that I haven't cast on.
Yeah, but Lorian's been talking about this you've been eyeing this since she started test knitting it.
Well, since I started looking at the test knitters and just other people's as well, because there are different variations. There's a long tunic. The sweater itself is kind of a tunic. I don't know. Initially, I was like, oh, that's beautiful. That's not for me. And it just sort of grew on me. So now it's mine to make.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Good. I have an acquisition as well, and I don't know where this came from, but sweater number 12 by My Favorite Things has been, I just love it.
Yeah.
I've been eyeing it. I follow the hashtag on Instagram, and I have to do it. I have to do it. So I bought the Knitting with Olive yarn, and these are the colorways that I'm going to cut. I just love the navy and white.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great for springtime. When I go out on my boat, I don't have a boat.
But you'll look nautical in it.
I'll look very nautical in it.
You need a jaunty sailor's cap.
I do. Yeah. So this one just keeps calling my name. I'm not going to start it though until. Oh, hey, mate. I'm not going to start it until I'm done with hanging leaves.
I thought you meant your other, your
I was
Julie.
gonna say Parker. No way.
Oh my God, I'll be way out to sea by that time. So I've always wanted to order the Knitting for Olive yarn. I don't know why. I guess I see it in a few patterns.
What do you think of the mohair so far? I know you haven't knit with it yet, but
I haven't knit with it yet, but it feels very soft. I was surprised this color was so different than this color, but
it'll be much more subtle when you.
Exactly.
That's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm excited to start that. There's a few little things on the pattern that I like. There's a little ribbing here, and it looks like it's well constructed. So we'll see. That was my birthday purchase also. So I love when you order things
Are you gonna
from
finish
another
by your
country.
birthday?
Pardon me?
Will you finish by your birthday?
Oh God, no.
Fine.
You never know. We'll see. I'd like to, I think might finish up that Beth's sweater by this weekend, maybe the beginning of next week, because it's just sleeves. So can't believe I just said that, but just sleeves.
At a time makes all the difference.
I know, it really does. It really does. So that's it for me. I did order a bag from the Mystic Maker, so I'll show you that next time. So definitely go onto Etsy. We'll put her info in our show notes, and check out Becky's Etsy page and her generous discount for Knitting Posse 20. We'll put that in there as well.
It's
K Posse 20.
Oh, thank you. K Posse 20. And put a comment below in our YouTube video, either letting us know, just tell us anything. What are you knitting? Should Lorianne put a button band on before a collar band? Favorite TV show right now? We're open for anything. Favorite book?
Okay, I have two things. First of all, HBO Max Little Voice was really good. I binge watched. Rich is away, and so I had to do all the shoveling by myself. So I watched the entire season. Like I would shovel and then come in and watch a couple of shows, and then come back and shovel and come in and watch a couple of shows. Really good.
Okay.
And my other thing is, I have my other goal for 2021 is brioche. And I signed up to do a class with Suzanne Summer through Knit and Escape. It's tomorrow and Friday. And so I'm actually really going to learn this time.
Good for you.
You could do it. You could do it.
You're going to wonder what.
I'm going to make brioche socks.
Oh,
is that a thing?
Will be.
Probably slippers, like house socks, I think, because they'll be a little, but yeah, probably could.
There we go.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.